know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
Hey there, Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns. Just want to comment and say BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for football, baseball, boxing, golf, and much more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm here with legendary Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn, and I'm Marcus Dash. Guys, big week 7 preview. We got the Chargers. JD's going to be at the game. JD, you're going to be there ringing in Dante Hall and finally getting in the Ring of Honor. We're going to be there for him.
I will, man. You know, it's a great honor for Dante. Well-deserved honor, of course. One of the most prolific, greatest return men of all time in the NFL. And he needs to be honored. And I'm going to be there for it, for my brother in support, man. And so this is always a good thing to come back to see guys and see how everybody is doing. But more importantly, like I said, for an occasion just like this, to come and see the Chargers get drummed up in Arrowhead. So I'm there for everything, man. I'm there for it all.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Dante, if you guys watch the show, you guys watched our episode with Dante, friend of the Chief Concerns show. My favorite player growing up. It's in our intro video. That was my guy.
I had no idea, man. But when you said it, I'm like, oh, okay, it makes a whole lot of sense. That's all right for him.
The short stature guys, man. Us 5'8" below guys need to stay together.
I hear you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it at all.
But yeah, that'll be an exceptional moment for Dante. Well-deserved. His legacy on the sport and the Chiefs, obviously. But yeah, you mentioned the Chargers. But before we get into the Chargers, JD, the trade deadline, we're approaching that. Big topic still with the Chiefs is receiver. We talked on this show about either bringing a guy like McCall Hardman. I know we have guys on the chat right here. Buck 10 inches. We need a #1 receiver. But there's a name I wanted to throw at you that hasn't really been talked about enough, JD. And I think this is someone that could be a big time help. So I'm gonna throw out Adam Thielen. So back in March, it was reported by Adam Schefter that the Chiefs had discussions with Thielen. He ultimately signed with the Panthers to a 3-year deal worth $25 million. And so far, Thielen is looking like his old self. At 33, he's still tearing it up. Third in receptions on the year in the NFL, 10th in yards. And his contract, pretty solid contract. His contract would keep him in Kansas City for 2024 at $5.5 million with a $4.5 million guarantee and a $2 million roster bonus due in March. And 2025, a $4 million hit with the $1.5 million roster bonus in March in that 2025 year. The Panthers would have to pay and pick up his $8.3 million signing bonus. So that's something that would have to be hammered out if a deal were to come to fruition. But JD, talk about how an Adam Thielen would fit in this offense. And are you buying or selling an Adam Thielen trade?
That's a good name to say, Adam Thielen. I was just talking to my nephew yesterday about Adam Thielen. We were just kind of watching how he's just torching, how many catches he had last game. I'm just like, yo, Adam Thielen was, when I'm telling you, a dog, which is just absolutely slice up defenses. When he was up there in Minnesota, I mean, he was the guy, you know. And you know, look, he's got a little bit of obviously some age on him, but Adam Thielen, he's a capable wide receiver. That's a guy that you know is going to be able to catch the football. He's going to get open. He's still got all the craftiness to him, and so can we get a guy like Adam Thielen here? That's the question. That's the question about getting the trade in. I'm not opposed to that at all. Adam Thielen is a very capable wide receiver, very capable wide receiver. So, like I said, a few years ago, he's probably one of the most highly sought after wide receivers in the game. Everybody was getting on fantasy, just watching how he was just catching the football. He run great routes. He's got great hands. He understands the game. I'm not opposed to Adam Thielen, coming here at all. It's not a bad choice right there.
And I also think that the Adam Thielen kind of makes sense. Obviously, money-wise, we know how Veach is when it comes to money. That contract is not absurd at all. Obviously, older, so he fits more of a timeline where a guy like who's been playing in Minnesota and then now he's going to Carolina, he's not playing for anything. His numbers are great this year, and I know he's obviously playing on a team that's not going anywhere fast, but it's a young team. They're not trying to compete for anything this year. Thielen would fit more of our timeline as far as bringing a guy who's ready to win now. Yeah. And then also, too, if we're trading assets, it's not just a one-year thing. Because I know some people were talking about Mike Evans. I see in the chat. Mike Evans' contract year. Are we going to pay him after this year? Because that would be a contingent. If we trade for him a lot of assets and we don't keep him, then what's the point? Just a one-year rental. Thielen on the books for 2 more years. If we do trade draft capital like a 4th or 5th round pick, say, I don't know what they would want for him. His numbers doing pretty well this year, but I think he fits more of the timeline. What do you think about where he is in his career and how he would fit in Kansas City based on all the stuff that kind of you talk about the contract, you talk about all that stuff. How do you think that fits?
When you're talking about, like you said, Evans, to me, it's no chance. Like you said, you get him for the 1 year, but you know that all of a sudden the contract comes up. Then what are you going to do, right? So if you're getting a guy just to service you for the 1 year, then that's what you want to be able to do. I think you try to find a guy that's going to be here for at least another couple of years, and money-wise, contract-wise, if it works out, then that's the way that you go. But like you said, we know Veach. Veach is not one of those guys that's going to give up the farm to kind of get a guy here. And so if it works out, if it makes sense contractually, then I think that's something that you have to explore, no doubt about it. So I see a lot of different people talking about, Jerry Jeudy, T. Higgins. He's another guy that's, just kind of out of our realm. I think, when we're talking about trying to get somebody here that is going to work financially, then that makes more sense. And then trying to get the most out of that guy as far as, money-wise, does those things add up, right? Because they say, look, the math ain't mathing. Okay. Sometimes some guys we get here, the math ain't gonna math, right? Because we still have other guys that we need to sign that we need to stay here that's in the building, in the Chiefs. And so, we'll get there. We'll get there. And, we keep talking about these things. And look, these are all trade rumors. These are all rumors what guys are going to do. We don't know if things are going to happen. We also think, and we've talked about this, that these young guys are some of these guys who still want to develop. We talked about Hardman possibility coming back in the building because we know him. We've had him here. He's cut his teeth here. He's grown here. We drafted him. So he's a guy that would bring a lot of juice back here to the table. And so I think really when you're talking about a championship team, you need a guy that's going to be able to fit into the culture. Okay. That's the reality. And so nobody's going to usurp what we're trying to do for the long term. And so, Hardman, definitely Adam Thielen. I don't know if Mike Evans works for us. I don't know if those guys actually work and fit into what we're trying to do. And then, like I said, if the math ain't mathing, then, they ain't trying to touch that. They ain't trying to do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too. Yeah. Obviously, T. Higgins, and that's the thing we see in the chat. Hollywood Brown's another name that's been I've seen out there. But also, I got to say, JD, with the amount that Arizona paid to get Hollywood Brown, yeah, I feel like they're going to want a good return back for Hollywood Brown. And I think some fans think we can get him at a bargain. And he's actually looking pretty well this year. Also, another bad team that's, having to throw all game long. What do you think about the Hollywood Brown as far as between him or Thielen, who would probably be a better fit based on all things considered, money, how much you'd have to trade to get him?
I like Hollywood Brown. He's a baller. We know that. He's a guy that can definitely take the top off the defense. He's a fast guy. Catches the ball well, but he was with the Ravens. They didn't really have anybody around him at the time. I thought they would keep him, but like you said, Arizona gave up a lot to try to get him. So they're going to try to recruit that, what they lost.
Yep.
So, I like Hollywood Brown. I like because he's a dynamic player. We know he can get in and out the break. He can make people miss. All those good things. All those good things. But it's the same thing. What is it going to cost us to get a guy like Hollywood Brown here? So there's, look, I've said there's different names. There's so many different names everybody's thrown out here. So, hey, look, there's a lot of speculation. I still think that at the end of the day, the Chiefs are probably looking to see the guys that's in the room. And if they do get a guy, it's going to be somebody that they know. And so I think that kind of fits a little bit better for what they're thinking in that realm. And so that's just the reality of it. We can name any guy out there. Shoot, heck, why not try to get Devontae Adams? I mean, just throw some names out there, right? You just say, oh, can this work? Can we get a guy here every trade and stuff? So some teams ain't gonna give them up, man. But look, I've seen out here the younger guys need to develop. I think we got a great guy in Rashid Rice. Okay, get Justyn Ross a little bit more time. Get him out there. Get him some experience. And we just got to see what Kadarius Toney's going to do. So it is about this patience. There's a sense of just having that patience, right? Patience is a virtue. There's a reason it's a virtue. Okay, we just got to be able to deal with these things for a while. As much as everybody doesn't like seeing the offense where it is, we're not too bad. I'm looking at the numbers. We're not terrible by no means. Pacheco's doing a great job. Our defense is playing at a high level. So if our defense is continue to play at a high level, what they've been doing, help carrying the offense, this is what part of team ball is, right? And so if we just need to keep working on our offense and our defense is actually, playing balls out, lights out right now, then we're in a good spot. We're in a good position. We get Charles Omenihu back, which is going to just add on to what we've been doing. Now, I love all those things, but I keep going back to the same things, man. You develop the guys in the room. If you get a guy, you got to get a guy that we know. And to me, makes sense. Go Hardman. Every time I keep going back to it, it's just like, you know what, God, it really does make sense. And I made that point the other day, Marcus. So I was talking about, if McCole Hardman hadn't gotten hurt, he probably would have been our first or second leading receiver on the team last year. Seriously. So I don't know, man. Everybody got a lot of different opinions. Those are just mine. But I do like the names you got, but some of the names everybody's throwing out here, man, not so much.
Yeah. Then also too, I think McCole Hardman, he's not being utilized at all in New York. I think they would get off him at a pretty cheap price. I don't even think it would be that much. Probably like a Cam Akers type deal that the Minnesota and Rams made, like a 2027 conditional 7th round pick or something like that. So yeah, I see that. Obviously, it's not going to cost a lot. So a guy who's only on a 1-year deal, I think paying not that much for him, that's fine. And a guy who knows the system already, so I agree with that. But you made some points about our guys in the room, JD. And that's the one thing. And I think over the next few weeks, we're going to see if our guys internally can do something and we don't have to go out and get a receiver. And I honestly don't think we're going to get one at this point. But okay, so Justyn Watson's been a guy who's tore it up this year. A lot of people were doubting him in the preseason. He came out and has been probably the biggest play receiver we've had this year so far. If you look at the big moments as far as our offense, I think you can point to Justyn Watson being that guy this year. But obviously Watson dislocated his elbow last week against the Broncos and expected to miss a few weeks. They don't know how long. They haven't really said. I think I read somewhere 4 to 5 possibly. So it begs the question, what's the wide receiver that's going to step up in his absence? MVS, I've seen some people calling him MVS. That's the new nickname I've seen. MVS. MVS has not exceeded 2 catches in a game this year. Sky Moore has 2 catches or less in 4 of the 6 games. So those 2 guys really haven't done much this year. KT, we're starting to get him more acclimated. I mean, last week, 3 catches, 9 yards, touchdown. Rashid Rice has looked like the only guy who stepped up in this whole equation, all the receivers. But what guy are you looking for who could emerge this week without Justyn Watson? And are we looking at Justyn Ross season, JD? Is it time to get some Justyn Ross action?
All right. So I see you try to bait me toward the compensation. Going that way. All right, I'll play. Okay, Marcus, I'll play. I'll play with you. All right. So here's the deal. Okay. Rashid Rice has been outstanding. He has in the past few games, catching the football. We know he's got a lot of explosiveness. We watch his athletic ability. He brings a lot to the table. I think he's a guy that steps up for us. I think he'll be that guy that's filling the role what Justyn Ross was doing for us as far as in that respect. Kadarius Toney is another guy that I think is probably number 2 in my eyes. That's going to get a lot more looks. I think he's starting to get a little bit more better, because of his knee, which is going to take him some time. And Andy wanted to get him acclimated, right? And so it was easy throwing a couple of screens, a couple little things here, little hitches and whatnot, for him to kind of, okay, now how you feel about these things, right? Now we're going to give you a little bit more. We're going to put a little bit more on your plate. Justyn Ross, okay? We'll talk about him. We know Justyn Ross has the ability to go up and go catch the football, okay? He's a very talented guy. He's a talented guy at Clemson. We just, there's always a question about it, the medical thing. For whatever reason, he hadn't been getting the shots and the opportunity, okay? We don't quite know why, all right? We can speculate all we want, okay? Our speculation, is it where he's not necessarily getting the things? What is it about him not getting out to the plate? We know he can go up there and catch any ball. Like Embry said, we waited for a guy like this to be in this room, okay? So if we waited for a guy to get like this in this room, let's put this guy out on the field and see what he can do. We seen him go and snatch the ball out of the air, which was just, we knew that, which was beautiful. Let's get him some things like in the red zone, but let's not make him a gadget guy, just in the red zone guy. Put him out there in the regular field. Let him go do some things, okay? That's what I believe. Another guy that I'm looking for, okay? This is the 4th guy somewhere he needs to fit. And I think he just needs to get more opportunity from Patrick. I think we need to look at him a little bit more. Sky Moore, okay? I'll watch Sky in the games. Sky has been open several times. They're not getting open. That's just not true. There's some times Patrick's been missing these guys. He just has, okay? Sky Moore has been running some good routes. There's some balls that he could catch that sometimes we don't need to take the deep ball, which Patrick's holding the ball, look at the deep ball, then Kelsey, those things. Give it to Sky Moore, let him do some things. He can catch the football. We know that, all right? We just need to get the ball to him to get him some more confidence as well. And so, comeback routes, double moves, things like that, he could possibly do. We know that. We know teams are going to give us a whole lot more man coverage because they don't think we can get open because they hear it here and we can't get them in. Okay, let's a little bit more pick routes, things that we can do underneath, crossing routes, get guys open. I just think that if we get into having a scheme much better, better play calling, that's another thing, better play calling at a Nagy, then I think, man, our offense will start looking a whole lot better, okay? So Rashid Rice, Kadarius Toney, Justyn Ross, and Sky Moore, okay? Now, if MVS at any time decides to show up, okay, I welcome that. I think we all do, okay? And I'm not a guy, I'm not really want to be down on MVS like that, but sometimes the reason we brought him here, sometimes you got to give him a shot too. Throw a couple deep balls. You know what? Just, MVS, just go. Hit your 9 route. Hit your streak. Just get down the field. We see if we can throw one up to you, see what you're going to do with it. Give him a chance. Give him opportunity, all right? I'm ready for opportunity to start coming for these guys that's in the room a little bit more, okay? And that right there is on PM15, kind of get these guys kind of trusting them a little bit more. And I think it is a little bit of that trust issue, but also, too, I think you got to start making some plays and some calls from Nagy and Andy to get these guys, acclimated to what we're trying to do, man. Seriously, because this is what it's going to take. It's going to take these guys and ultimately these guys that's been here to try to get them guys ready. Yeah.
MVS, the last 4 games, 3 catches, 1-1-1-0. It's been pretty much a ghost out there. I think, I see someone, MG Slim, bro is a ghost every game. And he is, and that's what it's come to. I mean, pretty much he's like not there. It's not existent. But I want to ask you, I saw somebody say it's politics and they want to make sure, they want to prove they're right about Sky Moore. But I want to ask you about how much of a leash certain guys get versus other guys. Sky Moore, 2nd-round pick.
Yeah.
Last year, and the MVS getting paid what he's getting paid. At what point do they although we invested a lot in these guys, we kind of have to just go with, if Ross is looking better, just go with Ross. I mean, at what point do teams kind of okay, we had a lot of investment in this guy. He's not producing at this point. We kind of have to just see what our other guys have at that point. How long does that take before that wears off, JD, where they're like, okay, like, let's give Ross MVS's reps or Sky Moore's reps at this point, or do you not see that?
Man, look, I've been playing this game for a long time, okay, and I know how these things work. Obviously, a guy that you draft early, you give him a longer leash. You really do. But the guy's not producing. You have no reason or beholden to play the guy who's not getting open, who's not doing the things you asked him to do. That's just the reality of it. Matter of fact, if anything, you look like a genius bringing a guy who's undrafted and he's over here playing, right? So that's, to me, is actually talking a little bit, on a higher level when you bring a guy who's undrafted and he's killing it out here. So to me, some of that argument, well, you got to keep going on Sky Moore. Yeah, I get that. He got a longer leash. We know he's going to be here for at least 4 years, obviously, other than like trading a guy or something like that. He's going to be here. He's your guy. But an undrafted free agent, if he's able to come out here and just absolutely show these guys up, that's even better. That's even better, right? Because what ends up happening, I'm just going to give you an example on contract talks in a sense. You have a guy like Austin Eckler, okay, who we're playing next week or this week coming in, that was undrafted free agent. He wasn't trying to kill the bank, to try to get him signed again. You know what I mean? And so he was just like, look, I'm just trying to keep getting this shot to try to stay here. And, I just want everybody to know that, look, I'm a team player. I want to just go out there and ball. So it really cost him a whole lot of money, which I thought Austin Eckler probably should have went out there and got more money than what he did when he pushed for. It's just honestly for what he gave. An undrafted free agent could do the exact same thing. Like once he gets rooted into a system, he could push it like, hey, you know what? Look, they showed some loyalty to me. They wanted to sign me for a long-term deal. If we could get Justyn Ross going like that, to me, it speaks volumes into the evaluation process of your scouts in Brett Veach and what they go into when they talk about bringing some guys here, some players. Because then what that does, it gives you credibility now, right? So I just, Sky Moore is a guy that I think still needs to develop. I believe he still can help us. He's a talented guy. He's a talented receiver, man. I'm not down on him either. I just think that Sky Moore needs to have a little bit more opportunity, So I know that narrative, that whole deal, like, oh, man, they're not going to play him because, man, ain't nobody playing that. They ain't doing that. That's not how it works in the NFL. It's for real. It's what can you do for me lately, okay? And the thing is, it's a performance business. Do you perform? Then you play. If you don't perform, you don't play. Pure and simple. They have MVS out there, so they've been waiting for him to perform. But I guarantee you, when you watch this week, you start watching and seeing. Now, obviously, you got an investment like $10 million. You got to try to get a return on your investment. Okay, I'm not saying you don't do that. Okay, but if the guy's hurting you and he's just not doing anything, then hey, man, we need to reevaluate what we're doing with our money. Okay, so
yeah, especially that penny pincher and Brett Veach. Talking about Justyn Ross, you said you want to get him just acclimated all over the field, which I think most of us do. Most of us Justyn Ross fans want to get him acclimated all over the field. But what's interesting is it seemed like in week 1 and week 2, we saw him more in the red zone. Last week, he barely got any red zone reps. And obviously we were getting skewer in the red zone. We weren't really doing much. Play calling was kind of rough in the red zone.
Rough.
Are you kind of concerned? I mean, not concerned, but like, it's interesting that he wasn't even in on the red zone snaps last week. And I thought that was what his role was going to be primarily in the beginning half of the season. You didn't really see much of him in the red zone. Didn't really see much of him at all during that game. I mean, I don't understand that. There seems like there's no like, I don't know, no like consistency with his role so far.
No, look, and we're pushing for a guy to get red zone snaps, and we even have our red zone and short yardage is right now in disarray, period. And I think a lot of it is just the play calling in itself. And I you know where I'm at with it. If we're in the red zone, we should be giving the Pacheco the football. We should be getting McKinnon the football. And so I know we want to bring Justyn Ross into this conversation, but there's other guys that need to get involved. We got Rice involved in some of these things. We should do a little bit more pick routes. Tony scored a touchdown last week based off that. And so I think our play calling in itself needs to be a whole lot better. Okay, so we can call it. Is Justyn Ross going to be the answer to the things that we do? I don't know. Are we throwing the fade balls like we should? Are we going to call that? That's the question. We're going to call that. Hey, man, look, Pacheco needs to get the ball in the red zone, okay? We need to see the guys come out the football, hit guys in the mouth. That's where I'm at, okay? Everything else is built off that because if your run game is good in the red zone, play action opens up after that, right? Yeah. Then you get the one-on-ones that you need to in the back of the end zone, maybe to come back at the first part of the pylon, things of that nature, okay? I could go to the whole scheme of how you should do these things offensively. The question is, are we going to call it? That's the thing. And don't get cute, call it off. Now all of a sudden you got 3 guys in the backfield. Tony's back there taking a snap. Towns is sitting over it. We don't need to be doing things like that, okay? Let's go play some smash mouth football, okay? Some strategic, chess-like calls going down in the red zone, all right? So that's where I'm at. That's the game I'm talking about we need to be playing offensively is that right there.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees with you. I think we saw someone here, Div XRY. So tell me why MVS still gets playing time versus others if it ain't political, big bro, respectfully.
Oh, yeah. Respectfully, I'll tell you this. I think they still got a lot of confidence in MVS. I think they do. I think there's things that he's probably doing on camera that we're not necessarily on film that guys can see, okay? And that goes into the blocking, all right? And so Al Saunders used to preach this all the time. And he said, look, if you're not getting the job done and maybe some of the routes, and sometimes it's just opening guys up. Sometimes MVS could be the guy clearing guys out, okay? So there's a lot of roles that guys fit that we need to understand how it goes into the scope of calling a play. He may make it getting some blocks. Rashee Rice, I told you got to get better blocking. His last game was terrible in blocking. He wasn't very good. I would say that. I don't want to say terrible. He wasn't very good. He whipped on a couple of guys. Getting those blocks will get you a couple more touchdowns. It's going to get you a couple more yards. So you got to take all of that into consideration. I know. I mean, that's just how it is. So respectfully, man, those things, because we look at catches, right? That's the only thing we look at as far as receivers, them doing, okay? That is part of their job, but it's not all their job. And so I get you. I want to see MVS, getting, some more shots. I think we need to give him a couple more opportunities. So I just, and also too, we're going to get our return on the $10 million. We got to do that. We got to do it. We ain't going to have a $10 million bench warmer. Better not do it. Shoot, you're going to do that, man. Give that money to somebody else if that's the case. So, yeah.
And I think with Watson being out there, it still allows for them to continue to see what Sky or MVS can do. With Watson being out, it gives more reps for Ross to get in there and play. It's play more even with those guys even being on the field. Not necessarily taking those guys as reps, but making the best of more reps with Watson being out. So I now hope that happens. That guy's the guy says we need Eddie Kennison. JD, you're going to be at the game, and I can assume EK is going to be there. Can you see if you can bring him back?
EK, man, hey, look, shoot, EK, man, I know that's a dog in itself, man. That's my brother right there. I'll probably see him after the game. And look, when I get out there, I'm gonna do a little bit more homework. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna get some answers. I'm gonna get some little bit more answers because I'm gonna be in the building a little bit more. Okay, kind of talk, man. And so I'm just, the thing is, there's a lot of questions that come out of here, but there's a lot that goes into it. And so I know Andy and the whole offensive side of the ball is not doing their due diligence on not playing a guy just because they say, well, look, we need, because he's earning $10 million this year, we got to play. We need to win. And we need to find out the combination of guys out there that need to win. Okay. So, it takes time.
Yeah. And hopefully us Rossers can be proud, JD. You could go to the breakout game of Justyn Ross. And after the game, we mentioned it on our show, but after the Thursday night game, when they asked Pat about, the young receivers, his rapport with Rashee Rice, he brought up Justyn Ross was the first other guy he brought up and said, watch, Justyn Ross can have a big game here soon, and Sky Moore's have a big game soon. But he said Justyn Ross first, and you know what? I'm holding them to that. He said him first. So I'm thinking we got a Justyn Ross breakout game coming, and I think that's good. What you could be seeing on Sunday, JD.
Okay. Look, I'm going to say this because I see a lot of it in the room too, them talking. Lit Ron 57 said, let's not act like Pat's playing his real potential. And that's true. Okay. They could be talking about the elephant in the room. A lot of people don't want to, admit that. All right. Somehow it's just blasphemous to not say, to say that. Okay. Oh, don't say that too loud. Look, Pat knows, and he's been talking about that he needs to get better. A lot of that is getting the younger guys on the same page about what it is that he's thinking about. So, yeah, Pat needs to amp his game up. We know for the best quarterback in the league, we expect a lot more. Pat expects a lot more, okay? And I don't think that is scandalous to say those things, right? And Pat's been looking for the long ball. He's been looking for Kelsey down the field. But he needs to get the ball out faster to some of these guys that are open. And I guarantee he's watching the film just like I'm watching the film. I'm just like, oh, this guy's open. He can throw this football. There's no reason why he can't see that. And so if he's going through his progression, 1, 2, 3, I know he should be able to, throw some balls, on the dig route, backside, on the comebacks. Maybe he's got more coming out of the arrow route. All those things, right? So, it's easy to blame, but I think the blame goes around in the offensive room. And they'll get it fixed. So
hey, Chiefs fans, ready to turn heads and cheer on your team? Spoken Forest has got you covered with the trendiest Kansas City Chiefs apparel. Step out in style with our Chiefs-inspired hoodies and tees like this That's Who hoodie. Perfect for game days, tailgates, or just hanging out with friends. Imagine watching the game with your buddies, all rocking our awesome Chiefs gear. It's not just clothing, it's a statement, a celebration of your love for the game. Ladies, add a pop of color to your wardrobe with our Zeus tee. Perfect for showing your support while staying stylish. Because being a fan has never looked this good. Gentlemen, channel your inner champ with our Stone Cold Jones hoodie, whether you're at the stadium or out on the town. This hoodie screams Chiefs pride and confidence. So why wait? Embrace your passion, wear it on your sleeve, or in this case, your chest. Visit SpokenForest.com and gear up for victory. Because when you look good, you feel good. Go Chiefs. Now we're going to turn our attention to the defense, which has become the big story of this year for this team. Everyone thought we were going to have, Justyn Ross was going to explode. Rashee Rice, that was all the preseason talk. But then the defense came out and has done amazing so far. Through 6 games, the Chiefs are second in points allowed per game, 6th in yards allowed per game, 6th in passing yards allowed, 7 guys with at least 1 sack, and we are 5th in defensive efficiency. Now, the Chiefs will bring in their big-time offseason addition in Charles Omenihu. Charles Omenihu is coming off a season that he saw him post 54 pressures, 10 hurries, and 417 opportunities.
Yes, sir.
My question to you, Jay, we got a little taste of Omenihu during the preseason and looked great playing inside, outside, all over the place.
Sure did.
How do you see Omenihu impacting this already stingy defense?
You know what, man? And I'm going to keep going back to my guy. We got to bet. Don't forget. We got something on this dinner, okay? It's going to be on you because Charles Omenihu is going to come out here and he's going to show himself. The guy that we got him here for a reason. But we know what he has, man. He's a long guy, 6'5", about 280, 285, somewhere around there. Got a lot of strength. He's got a lot of push with his hips. He could get low. He's just going to open up our defense even more on the defensive line, okay? He's going to be that guy, that missing piece. Because I think we have been trying to get more sacks, and it shouldn't be just Chris Jones getting the sacks, but he's going to help out George Karlaftis. He's going to help out King Felix. He's going to help out all the guys, Dannon and those guys, just getting to the football. And so his versatility playing inside and out is what's going to be the key. I almost see him like a Chris Jones body type, really, that he can do. He can play inside. He can play outside. And so when he matches up on a guard where he could just get up underneath him a little bit quicker to get around, that's going to be hard, getting the pressure up the middle. So that helps out with the guys on the outside. Now when he gets to the outside, now he can work the tackle the way that he needs to, using his hands, using his strength, using his speed. But I just think as good as our defense looks right now, Charles Omenihu is going to make it even better, okay? The linebacker is going to appreciate it. The corner is going to appreciate it also. And I think with this type of his game, what he brings to the table, it's just going to amplify our defense even more, man. We're talking about a top 10 defense right now with Charles Omenihu, who could easily come in and be top 5 before we know it, okay? And I see somebody talk about, well, the Chiefs have one of the best defenses in the league. Absolutely they do, okay? talked about Justin Reed playing the most complete game I've seen him play, in my own opinion, last week, and he keeps bringing that thunder with him, then it's going to be, man, I'm telling you, a lot of people going to be in trouble. A linebacker's playing incredibly well, right? Bolton, Gay, Drew Tranquil, Leo Chanel. Those guys are just all over the field, man. They're doing everything. And so our secondary looks great. Snead, McDuffie, Reed already talked about, Cook, Watson, all those guys, man, all playing in. Williams, I mean, so that's the thing about it. When you bring another piece like this, okay, a guy that we sought after during the offseason that we felt like was going to be that outside guy, here he is. He finally gets here to show what he can do. And what better team to do it than with the Chargers, okay? Because we got to get Justin Herbert off the grass. We said that. We got to get him moving. That's the thing about it. We can't let him just sit back there like a statue and throw that football, because he will. He'll pick you apart. But if Spags puts something up, and that's the thing about it, with Omenihu's versatility, Spags going to take advantage of that. He's going to take advantage, full advantage of it, and he should. But I'm excited this week to see when he runs out there, man, and what it's going to be about. The Kingdom's going to go crazy. It's going to go crazy. As soon as we get his first sack, he'll get his first sack this week. You see it right here.
Damn.
Yeah, you got it. Hey, you got it. Why not? He's going to be so juiced up. Why wouldn't he? Okay, I would. First time in the building, actually having a uniform on and playing for the Chiefs, I'm going to get that sack. I'm going to get one. So that's what I'm looking for.
And I love it. And I'm seeing, because you mentioned all the defensive players who really stepped up this year. And I'm seeing Edlow, TEAGR. Mike Edwards has been great too. And Mike Edwards is one of the guy I've said so far this season, he's been the most underrated acquisition we've had. Everyone talks about Drew Tranquil. No one really talks about Mike Edwards and what he's done. He's a ball hawk back there. I love the Mike Edwards signing.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Mike Edwards is just like he's like the mechanic, right? You can always rely on him, know he's going to do everything right. Okay. He's always going to be there. Just when everything breaks down, here comes Mike Edwards making a play. There he is. And so that's a great problem to have when you have so many guys, and Mike Edwards need to be getting you like, okay, where's Mike? Mike to be playing. But I mean, he, crafty vet. You know what he brings to the table. His leadership in itself, he brings that to the table. So
and he's one of the few guys that brought over a Super Bowl. I mean, won one in Tampa. And he brought that Super Bowl experience over to replace Thornhill, who was also another Super Bowl winning safety, for another safety to come in there and kind of bring that. It's great. But yeah, talking about Omenihu, because we talk about for years we've talked about getting edge rushers. And now with Omenihu in there, and obviously we talk about how you can rotate Jones and Omenihu on the edge and inside. They can do it all, versatile-wise on the line. Mike Dana, Karlaftis, FAU, the King Felix, who we have someone who wants your thoughts on King Felix, but then you got Malik Herring. I mean, we have so many guys that we're just rotating on the edges now. It's just like this is what we wanted. This is what Spags, I'm sure, has been wanting since he got to Kansas City. And now we finally have a plethora of just guys who just rotate and just attack the quarterback. It's just so amazing. It's gonna be it's now to the point where now when we watch Chiefs games, I'm actually excited to see if we punt the ball, have a 3 and out. I'm excited to see our defense now. Where in the past, you're cringing, like, man, what's going to happen on this drive? Like, how far are they going to get down there? Are we going to stop them and they're going to kick a field goal? I mean, that's usually what it was. It was like, all right, at least it's home to a field goal. And then, but now it's like it's so fun to watch. Well, what are your thoughts on obviously the plethora of pass rushers? But King Felix, our guy, asked that question there.
I think he's still coming along. Rookie, he's still trying to figure out, because it's a lot different than it is in college to come off, because the guys are just that much better. And so sometimes when you was able to get around guys in college, it's not quite the same thing in the NFL. Okay, because it's the best of the best, the elite of the elite. And so he's still trying to figure those things out. He's still trying to figure out getting the edges, maybe working on his moves, getting a double move, using his hands, using the speed. I see even like his get off. Like, he still needs to get better on his get off a little bit, the timing of it. And so sometimes he's just got to jump out his cleats. Some things at defensive end, you just got to try. Okay. So I played a little bit of defensive end in college. I know what that is. I know what that's like. And so, when you jump out of your cleats and try to make a play, you got to make sure you're doing it and scheming what you're trying to do, but also to work on your craft. My thing is, hey man, as much as my boy Tama could get there and come help these guys out sometime during the week, please do. I might make time a call, man, and say, yo, man, help out King Felix. Get him all together, like you did with King George or Crazy George. So I think, man, he's still figuring these things out. He's going to get much better with Omenihu there. And so I think those things will help him out watching a vet do vet things. And so it's going to be a matter of time with him. It's just going to be a matter of time. Once he figures out, once he gets the speed of everything, he's going to be all right. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's going to be like a light came on, and he's there. He's there with it. So, yeah, he's coming along, man. He'll be there.
Yeah, can't wait to see all these guys together. Want Omenihu, and I know this week, but really, I'm excited to see how this defense looks in 2 weeks when Omenihu's got his bearings and everything kind of like in rhythm a little bit.
And also, too, this like you said, this is kind of Spags in the New York defense. When you was looking up there and we was talking about having all those guys in the pass rusher, this is exactly what Spags had been looking for, and he finally got it. So Christmas has come early for Spags, okay? And so I know with these toys, man, he's going to get these guys moving and making some plays, okay? And so he's going to get these guys going a little different places from everywhere. Bring the pressure, man, Spags. You got what you wanted for Christmas. Under the Christmas tree, you got all your pass rushers. There they are, man. Here it is. Work out with the Spags. That's my guy.
Spags definitely got his what he wanted, and all the draft capital we've invested in the defense. Yeah, he's got what he wanted. He needs to do his thing. Final topic here before we get out of here, JD, is the game picks this weekend. Chiefs hosting Chargers. We are 5.5-point favorite at 425 game. JD will be in attendance to celebrate Dante Hall getting in the Ring of Honor. Patrick Mahomes era 7-2 against the Chargers. I forgot what his touchdown to interception ratio, but I think it's like 21-6 or something like that. But JD, who do you have in this game on Sunday, and do you think the Chiefs will cover the 5.5-point spread?
Definitely. So I got right now. I was looking out here because I had it on my notes. So I'm looking at out in Arrowhead 28-17. That's what I'm looking for. It's been close games with the Chargers. An Arrowhead. We know that they're hungry. We know this is like a pivotal point for them if they're trying to salvage the season. I hate to say that right now so early, but it's like really like, okay, we haven't really had any success past couple of weeks. We need to try to get one against the Chiefs, okay? And so they are making sure they are reiterating this win we have to have. We got to have this. We got to play perfect ball against a very good defensive team, one of the best in the league, coming into Arrowhead. They know, man, it's a hostile territory. They know they're in an environment, and we know right now that one thing that we do, that we own the Chargers. We own them guys. And so I think the score of the game, this is what I have, 28-17. That's it. Chiefs, 28-17. So
yeah, I think I think we cover the spread. I think that loss to and you can make an argument they should have had a couple of heartbreaking losses. They should have lost the Raiders as well. But that loss to the Cowboys, man, I think that might kind of ring with them a little bit. Short week too, only a Monday to Sunday game, going from a home loss to now playing in KC. 28-17. I mean, I guess the thing too, man, all these division games are so close, especially with the Chargers.
It's going to be that. It's going to be. But look, the Cowboys is a very good team. They knew it. They was underdogs. They wasn't supposed to win that game. So that's the thing about it.
So you had 28-17. Vegas has the total points for the Chiefs on Sunday, 27.5. JD.
Really?
Yeah. Look at you, man. The bookie right here. I'll say I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll go 28-21. I think they cover the spread. I think we win by a touchdown. So very, very close to what you got. What you got going on? Total points for this game is 48.5. So yeah, I think I have it just slightly over 28-21.
Okay.
Yeah. Comes down to the last possession. Chargers are desperate, and we just aren't. Ooh, we got some doubters in here. I don't know if that's a Chargers fan or a Chiefs fan saying that.
What's that? What are they saying?
That guy's the guy says comes down to the last possession. Chargers are desperate, and we just aren't.
Yeah, we're not desperate, but we are a championship team, and we understand who we got coming in here. So I would say maybe some of the desperation and concern is on offense. So they're going to be attention to detail, and we got to score points because we know. Look, that's the thing about it, man. With their defense, they got a great defense. They do. They got some names over there on the other side. So we got to make sure we do a great job against this defense. So I wouldn't say, Chargers are desperate. Yes, they are. But we're not going to look past the desperation. Sometimes being desperate to put you in positions that may not be ideal for you. And so I think the Chiefs will be focused. I think they need to be focused up. And I think this is the one where we're looking for offense to do some things. This might be the week to turn these things over. Okay. But these guys, they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready. I don't think it's going to be as close. Like I said, 28-17. They might get a touchdown toward later on. But, without Mike Williams and some of the things that's been going on over there, it's going to be a tough game. But I don't think it's going to be that close.
Yeah. And also, too, talking about desperation, I think for being a 5-1 team, and you kind of mentioned it, our offense just hasn't looked good at all. And they know it. They know there's a lot of doubt on them. Just coming off the 19-8 win against one of the worst defenses in the league. We didn't put up numbers. Our red zone offense looked atrocious. I think we have a lot to prove. May not be desperate, but we have a lot to prove, especially the offensive wise. And yeah, I just think that this would be, and also a little mini bye with 10 days to game plan for this game. So Andy Reid with more time to prepare and cook up something on offense. I think we have a lot to prove. May not be desperate, but we have a lot to prove, especially offensively.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see what it's going to look like. Kelsey's going to keep doing his thing. And so if you have where they are doubling Kelsey up, they're going to try to make sure. Then we'll try to make some isolation plays on some guys on the outside. And I think Pat is going to give these guys some chances, opportunity. And we're hoping that Rashee Rice continues what he's been doing. And also, too, start seeing some more guys starting to step up a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball. Tony, Sky Moore, and then we're looking for Justyn Ross to come in and start doing some things. And, hey, guess what? MVS may have 3 catches for, 80 yards. I'm looking for that game. I am. Hey, what do you want to say? All right. I'm Mr. Optimistic. That's what I like. I'm an optimistic guy. Okay. So MVS, show up, come in with your sunglasses, fur. I don't know how you do things, how you get yourself ready. But do what you need to do, man, to come in and put all these doubters to sleep. How about that? Okay. Get them off your back. Get them off your back, big fella.
Or Justyn Ross breakout game.
Justyn Ross breakout game. I'll take either one. How about that? I'll take either one. All right? It could be a great game, though. All right. But I will say this. I know we were talking about it, but I expect to get out there and taste some good barbecue. I didn't get to do it last time. I'm talking about the tailgating aspect of it. I'm going to try to get out there a little bit earlier so I can do some tailgating. So I'm going to run around. Okay, try to get some tailgating in. Go see some people. Start talking to some people, and I'm gonna see what y'all cooking up, man. See what y'all doing well out there, man, in the parking lot. Okay, so holler at your boy, man. Invite your boy JD to one of your little tailgates and stuff, man. I'm gonna stop by, come see it, show me what section you in, all those good things. All right, I'm all for it. I'm all there for all of it.
You're gonna have to get there super early, JD. Those people start getting there so early in the traffic, just kind of mounts up, man. It's awful. It's brutal.
It's crazy. That's what got me last time. I'm just like, I'm here like hours before, but it was even worse. So I'm gonna be there.
You need to link up with Tony beforehand. If Tony's gonna be there, you need to link up with him and get a helicopter, the express right in the parking lot. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in to Chief Concerns on the Bleacher Report app today. You guys can catch us Friday. We're going to do our bet show. And then Sunday after the game, I don't know if JD will be there because JD will be at the game. So I don't know if he'll be on the post-game show. But Monday, we'll have the grade show to talk about the Chargers game at 2 o'clock right here on Bleacher Report. But, yeah, subscribe and follow us on Chief Concerns on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else you guys get podcasts. Take it easy, everybody.
Good seeing y'all. Go Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.